Hello everyone, this is Pleiadian Star Healer and welcome to this week's What the Fuck Forecast. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to be pulling some cards for this week's What the Fuck energy, and I'm considering also putting in the Mercury Retrograde. So let's see here. So let's see. So for the current What the Fuck energy, we have Capricorn. I'm going to pull out another card for the same. Oh. And we have Scorpio. I transform. So I feel like this is about transforming your life through hard work. So I feel like for those who have been working on goals, know that your diligence is changing your path. You know, soon you will see like the cause and effect of the things that you've been doing to bring about, your goals and your fruition. And for those who are just starting to use, those who are just starting to get into the scheme of things, you know, this is the time where you have to use your resourcefulness, your wisdom, your experience to change your life. And to use this Mercury retrograde to plan your steps for those who are struggling with business, job, financial matters, because there is a lot of change happening that is not evident, or where you probably feel like you can't see, or you feel like nothing is happening right now. But by practicing discernment and planning accordingly, you will definitely start to see the seeds that you planted start to grow. And it brings to mind, the definition of, you reap what you sow. So understand also that karmic situations are playing out, that are leading to transformations. All right, so a lot is going on in the universe. There's a lot of retrogrades, and Mercury recently went retrograde. So there's a lot of just fuel, so a lot of people are struggling right now, especially financially. But this is the time, I feel like when things happen, is the opportunity to really reflect on where you want to go, what you want to do. Sometimes there's like a standstill where you feel like you're just standing in one place. And I feel like instead of focusing on the problem, we have to focus on a solution and say like, okay, everything came at a standstill. So what am I supposed to do right now? How can I use, because you see with the Capricorn, how can I use my knowledge, my wisdom, my perseverance to transform my path, So there's something to keep in mind, all right? So now we're going to head over to the hidden energy behind these two cards here. And we have, I'm going to pull another two. And so we have the void, of course, moon missing. And we have here, opposites. We have again, grand trine blessings. Okay, so I feel like it's like for two separate groups, So right now, a lot of people are missing out on stuff, or things are just not coming through. And then there are those who are receiving, even regardless of all the retrogrades, and they are receiving like their karmic blessings, for whatever hard work they have put in the past, now it's starting to show itself, even surpassing, Mercury retrograde, because it also depends on your aspects and, your whole chart. So, as we were discussing before, this is the time to plan your steps accordingly. For in relation with Mercury, things may not go as planned, or happening the way you want it to. So keep up with the hard work. Don't give up. It can be exhausting, because Capricorns are known to be very ambitious, very hardworking. So just keep up the things that you're doing. Understand that things, situations, and people may be acting up, right? People are probably acting a little shady, or you might be feeling disappointed. So just remember that all these events are leading up to your transformations, okay? So all the current frustrations are building up for hidden blessings, okay? Because, as I was saying before, we probably don't see it, because a lot of this chaos is happening, so we don't really see that our blessings are working behind the scenes, So the Grand Trine, also encourages, for work. Encourage people to work, that even, because when you have the Grand Trine, things could come too easily, and sometimes you can become lazy, or just, like they say, when you have it too easy, you don't really appreciate things, or you don't have the same kind of gratitude for those who have been struggling. So with this, for some of you that have been having it pretty easy, and you're getting all your your fruits of your labor, they want you to keep up with your plans and processing, and not to become too comfortable, okay? To appreciate and be present, because like they say, you could have something one day and lose it the next, okay? So it just shows, like, even there may be a lot of frustrations and a lot of falling outs right now, this shows that the energy behind everything, there are still blessings in the air, even if you don't see it, and things will eventually be turning up, especially with your own effort. Basically like co-creation, it takes you and the universe working together, even as simple as creating, a softer and better environment outside yourself, okay? So the upheaval of changes, are bringing blessings. So don't resist, okay? Try to go with the flow, of course, with discernment and wisdom, and, resourcefulness, like the Capricorn, all right? So now we're going to go with the lesson or purpose of this current what the fuck energy. I'm just going to slide these a little. So we have here, pull another 2. And we have, again, see, like, wow, lunar eclipse, change. So a lot of change is happening, a lot. And we have Neptune, sacrifice, a very beautiful card. Okay, so the lesson or the purpose here with all this energy that's happening is, learning to go with the natural cycles of life, that to move forward requires sacrifice. Even sacrificing by letting go, old ideas, old patterns, that aren't working for you. And there's a lot of people who are going to be falling out your life. And it's okay, even if they do cause like frustration, disappointment, understand that everyone is moving along the same grid line, just a different movement, and that's okay. It doesn't make that person better than you. It doesn't make that person less than you. Okay, so we have to keep that up, to remember that even with ascension, we have to stay humble. Okay, humility is very, very important. Just because you feel like you're ascending, it doesn't give anyone the privilege or the right to look at those and say, oh, well, that person is just not to my wavelength, so like, I'm better. Like, because then that really is ego talking, okay? You have to just view that everyone is functioning at their own timing, on their own cycle. And not everyone is meant to stay, okay? And I feel like for here, what they're really trying to say is just plan, because this is also that all the work that you've been doing is going to be revealed, because you have the moon, and that's about seeing things, things, situations, things that are hidden will come to light. So even with people, you may start to see people for who they really are. And that's okay, just to release that judgment and say, that's what they are. It just doesn't fit me anymore. So I'm just going to let them go and let them find people that are more in alignment with their attitude or the way they think, or, things like that, And this is also, I feel like, it's about embracing like radical, great change, in periods of transformation, because that matches with the Scorpio, So we have change and transformation. There's a lot of things happening, and I feel like this is in accordance with everything occurring before December, before the new year. So there's going to be a lot of change. So I feel like as everyone goes into January, everyone at that point should be at their next phase, But looking at things from a different perspective, it's teaching you to be more open, and most especially to let go what no longer serves you, and also what no longer wants to stay, and surrendering, to the mystery, and not really trying to control everything, because Capricorns are known to be a little controlling, and they have like that wanting to plan everything, because of course they're very ambitious and goal, so this is also to keep in mind that not everything is in your control, and there is inevitable change, and the best thing that you can do is just go with it, go with the cycles, and and I feel like this can be like that change also occurs even if it isn't clear, because Neptune makes things, dreamy and unclear, kind of like foggy, and with the moon, since things are revealed with the moon, it's teaching you to be acutely aware and practice, good judgment, to think before you act. Because with the Neptune, with the fog, because if you see like the card has like that kind of like foggy, thing happening, her eyes are closed, so it could be like you're a little blinded. So it is recommended to really practice good judgment, and how you practice good judgment is thinking before you act. Okay, and I feel like this also has to do with manifesting, as we were discussing, co-creation. So if things are not clear, just continue co-creating. You may feel a little confused, and you may feel like you've lost a little bit of power, or disempowered, but just keep on with the ability to manifest, okay? And try to stay grounded, because we have like, what the fuck energy starts with an earth sign, okay? So we want to stay grounded, try to avoid escapism, because we have Neptune, and really tune into your inner knowing, because she has her eyes closed, and it does give off this energy of I'm tuning in to within me and what's outside of me. So really, when things seem a little foggy and a little confusing, really try to tune into yourself, okay? So things can come through a little bit more clearly. So then now we have how we're going to shift this what the fuck energy into a blessing, right? And so we have, oh my Lord. I'm going to show you guys. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to move the cards a little so you guys can see. You're not going to believe this. How fitting. Mercury retrograde reinvention. See, that's why I love doing cards, because they never cease to amaze me. And even after so many years of doing this, like, I'm still so surprised. So, like, I feel like this card definitely confirms the void of the moon, things not going as planned, so momentarily, this is a time of retreating, and going back to the drawing board, thinking before you act, as I was saying before, and really, as the card says, look to reinvent yourself, as I was saying, how when things come at a standstill, instead of focusing so much on the problem, that's a good opportunity to focus, what can I do to change things? What is this trying to tell me? Maybe perhaps I need to go a different path, or get your priorities more straight, So although like Mercury retrograde promotes poor judgment, You know, then we have the Neptune card next to it, you know, so definitely this is a great time to use good judgment, good discerning ability. Also, you know, writing your ideas down will not only help get things more clear, but it also aids in manifesting, as we were saying before, you know. So this is a good time to, you know, revising thoughts, decisions, you know, really going into contemplation and really slowing down to see and grasp like where you're headed. You know, so when planets go retrograde, especially Mercury retrograde, everything is always going about within, you know. So this is the time where not really to act. And even if things are going really, really good, and things have been easy for you, you're still recommended to take a moment to really think about perhaps, you know, what is the next step for you? You know, to be creative. So writing is very encouraged, because writing, you know, really helps bring in ideas, and, you know, has that creativity to really think about taking a step back, tuning into yourself as the card before Neptune, you know, and really thinking about how you can just reinvent your life. All right. So I'm gonna pull a card because I've been doing a Pleiadian message. So I'm gonna just tune into my Pleiadian guide, Sarah, and let's see what she comes with. And we have Gemini, I think. See, a lot of thinking is happening right now. So everything's encouraging, like, to use your noggin. Okay, don't just act on emotions, because, you know, Mercury retrograde, the water, Scorpio really makes, like, and then you have Neptune, you know, there's a lot of water elements, and this is like emotions, and things could get a little out of control. You know, when Mercury retrograde, people can just be feeling like at their wits' end, or people just reacting very, very emotionally. And I feel like this is the perfect time to really step back and think about what you're going to do, how you're going to react, should you react, because remember, not everything deserves your time and energy, and not everything deserves your participation. You know, so I feel like when these kind of energies are happening, this is the perfect time to really, you know, put into the self-mastery, you know, being in awareness. So with the Gemini, I feel, let's see, my guide. You are juggling choices, split in two, but the time has come for deep contemplation. Use your gift, the ability to think, to outweigh your choices, to analyze your path ahead. You were bestowed consciousness. Do not let it go in vain. Communicate with your higher self. From our timeline, things are set up to show you the way. Pay attention to the signs. Your timeline is rattling under pressure, for you are not following what is in aligned with your true calling. Access not only your inner knowing, but your ability to calculate your moves in unison with the universe. You are meant to be the life you have written for yourself. So that is the message from my Pleiadian guide, which I think that was actually quite wonderful. So that is the end of this week's WTF forecast with the introduction of Mercury retrograde. I hope everyone has a pleasant week. You know, stay in practice, you know, keep thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to reinvent yourself. And as I said before, think of the solution, not the problem. Because if you're going to think, you know, use it constructively, you know, not for self-destruction. Okay, think constructively. Always seek out the solution and not make love to the problem. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this video, and please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.